When do we finally see a candle like this on Bitcoin? Or at least a candle like this for Bitcoin is exactly what everyone wants and craves. Right now, we are at the beginning of the most bullish quarter for Bitcoin statistically. Every single time when the September closed as a green month, we had 3 consecutive bullish months. 2015, 2016, and also last year, 100% of the time, we had 3 bullish months after we had a bullish month in September. On top of that, the global money supply is increasing, and all of this liquidity, which will flow in the markets and also partially in Bitcoin. Also, China, by the way, the second biggest economy in the world after America, are introducing massive stimulus programs to pump up the stock market, which actually is already speaking right now as we speak. We had a 33% pump on the Chinese index. On top of that, there's an additional 11 to 16 billion dollars which potentially flow back in the crypto market as FTX is paying back the creditors in the next few weeks and the next few months. The chances of a Bitcoin supply shock are increasing because just in September, more Bitcoins have been purchased only on the US spot ETFs compared to all the Bitcoins which have been mined in September. And sooner or later, this will cause a supply shock, and a candle like this or like this is actually becoming realistic. And the crazy thing is, most people are completely in the dark and they are not even aware that all of this is happening right now. And most people will miss this and they will buy Bitcoin when Bitcoin is at 80K, 90K, 100K, 110K, 120K. That's when most people actually will buy and they will get wrecked. And we on this channel, we will make money. Today, we will look at everything from A to Z, especially also another opportunity in the market, which actually most people are not even aware of. This is a really important video and I put together all the important information for you on a silver platter so you're perfectly prepared for the bull market and for the next 3 months. I hope you enjoy. Let's go. Alright guys, welcome to a new video. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe, hit the ring bell so you don't miss any important or urgent update videos. As always, I have my black tea today and also have my fennel tea. Get a drink yourself, leave a like and comment for the algorithm. I would really appreciate this, and thanks so much to everyone who's doing this every single time. First and foremost, a warm welcome to every single new subscriber on this channel. We are growing every single time, and thanks again to everyone who's liking and commenting on every single video. I really appreciate it. As you might know, I have a second channel, which is a big vlog channel with over 1 million subscribers, and very soon I will upload a new vlog there. So actually comment down below what vlogs and videos you want to see on this channel. When will we finally see a candle like this? This is the candle that everyone has been waiting for Bitcoin, or at least we can get maybe a candle like this. Right now actually is the most exciting time for Bitcoin because statistically we have the best quarter in anticipation. Now every single time when September was actually a bullish month, we had 3 consecutive bullish months. So for example, in 2015 we closed bullish and we had 3 green months after. Also 2016, same thing, we closed green, we had 3 more green months. This means that statistically we have a 100% chance of actually closing the next 3 months green, which means we expect a massive pump up in Bitcoin in the next 3 months. The hype on Twitter in the last few weeks for the Pumptober has been insane, and most of the time, if too many people are bullish or excited, we first of all have to wash those people out, liquidate all the longs, and then we can go up. And this exactly is also what happened. The October started actually bearish. We have a small dip on Bitcoin, which actually is quite unspectacular. In the last 24 hours, we had a panic outbreak because of the Middle East conflict, and this panic news event caused the Nasdaq 100 to actually dump down, and Bitcoin came down together with the traditional stock market. And because everyone was so excited and there were so many long positions in the market, this small dump of just simply around 5% caused over $500 million liquidations on the long side. Now this actually is very healthy and good because this means the more Bitcoin actually dumps down in October, the better the risk reward, because we are expecting that at the end of October, end of November, and end of December, we are closing higher every single time. So actually, this right now is actually good and putting the risk reward in our favor. This graphic is very exciting. This graphic is from the ETC group, and this graphic is essentially comparing every single panic event and how Bitcoin performed after the panic event. And this graphic is showing you that most of the time, initially, you have a small dump from Bitcoin, but then from day 10, 20, and 50, mostly actually Bitcoin is performing bullish. That's why every single time there's any panic event in crypto, most people overreact, or the stock market goes down, Bitcoin goes down with it. But me personally and statistically, this is a very good time to buy Bitcoin and to open a new low leveraged long position on Bitcoin. Next, this is the really important stuff. The global money supply is actually increasing a lot, and all of this is potential liquidity which will flow in the stock market and also in the crypto market. The same thing also in China, which by the way is the second biggest economy right after America. So whatever happens in China also has a big impact globally. So for example, in China, they had multiple programs to essentially pump up the stock market, to prop up the stock market, and to incentivize liquidity. So for example, they cut the reserve requirements, they cut the interest rates, they adjusted the mortgage rates, they stimulated the stock market, etc., etc. And the Chinese index reacted immediately. We had a massive pump now in the Chinese stock market, which was 33% in just a few days. Also, in America, we expect 2 more rate cuts. Now, why is this important? Every single time the Federal Reserve is cutting the interest rate, this means that more liquidity can flow in the market because institutions and investors can borrow money cheaper. And if you can borrow money cheaper, you're more incentivized to invest the money in the market, which is exactly what's happening. Next month, on the 7th of November, which, by the way, is in sync with the American election, which also is usually bullish, we have another rate cut expectation of 0.25% and also potentially an even bigger rate cut. Last rate cut for the year is going to be in the middle of December. So at the end of this year, most likely we will end up around 4% on the interest rate side. Now, as mentioned before, October is the second most bullish month for Bitcoin, and November is the most bullish month. If Donald Trump were to be elected, I think this would surprise the crypto market a lot, and we could see an even bigger, more aggressive pump on Bitcoin. So the time right now is actually ticking quite quickly because October is only 27 more days. In the next few months, we have between 11 billion and $16 billion of cash, which potentially gets reinvested in the crypto market. Why? Because the big crypto exchange, FTX, they are paying back most of their creditors, and this will actually happen step by step. So for example, in October, which is just right now 4 days in the future, we will have on the 7th of October a court hearing where they essentially decide how the paybacks will happen, and then it will take a few weeks until the first few people will receive their money. And they of course start with the small investors who have less than 50k, and then the big investors, the whales, they get their money most likely in Q1 of 2025. And the reason why this is amazing is because the money will most likely flow gradually in the market, and this will not be a hype event where it's going to be a pump and dump just based on buy the rumor, sell the news. This actually is continuous buying pressure. Most likely you remember when the German government sold all those bitcoins for Mt. Gox. Now this was a few billion. This is between 11 to 16 billion, which goes in the market, which is a lot of more magnitude than, of course, the Mt. Gox sell pressure. That's why this also, again, is even more bullish for Bitcoin, because most of these people will actually go most likely back in the crypto market because, of course, they are crypto investors and crypto traders. The chances of seeing a candle like this for Bitcoin is actually increasing more and more. In September alone, the amount of Bitcoin which was bought just on the US spot ETFs exceeded the amount of Bitcoins which have been mined. So you can see clearly that essentially Bitcoin cannot keep up with the demand, and sooner or later this will be a supply shock and the Bitcoin price will rocket even more. As you can see, especially the last few days in September, we had massive inflows through the US spot ETFs on the institutional side, and we had one panic sell day, of course, like I said, because of the Middle East conflict, which is normal, but this doesn't mean much and it's not really significant. Also, on the Ethereum ETFs, we had the first few decent inflow days. Also, funnily enough, Grayscale, which actually is mostly dumping Ethereum, they had a nice big inflow day on their small ETF right here. And sooner or later, this will pick up even more, and then Ethereum will also go through the roof. And the crazy part is, most people are not even aware of this. Go and ask your parents, go and ask your co-workers or your friends, do they know about this? Most likely not. They will miss the next 3 months and they will buy in on Bitcoin when Bitcoin is at 80k, 90k, 100k, 110, 120k. That's when they most likely will buy, and they will hold Bitcoin way too long. That's why also we have to keep a close eye on the Google Trend search chart, because if the searches on the normal people on Google about Bitcoin increase a lot, this is the time to be cautious and to slowly actually exit your positions. And that's why I will keep you closely updated on this channel right here about this. Next, let's have a quick look at the liquidation heat map. So right now, for example, we had lots of new shorts being opened as the price came down, and they are very easy prey for market makers. That's why in the immediate short term, I expect a correction up again to pick up those short positions here. Now, the important thing is, if we zoom out right now, we liquidated all those longs right here. And even if we didn't have the Iran conflict, we would still most likely pick up those people. So essentially, it's most like a scapegoat for market makers to push the price down, to sell Bitcoin, and to essentially also wreck all those people who got so excited for October. Right now, we have 4 important clusters. We have 2 above us. We have one right now just right above us, and also one above the swing high. And on the long side, we have here around $57,000. This also is the big cluster, which we discussed in the last video, and I still have not changed my mind. I still think that it's quite likely that we will liquidate all those longs right here. Also, just below this, we have some more longs here and some more longs here just above $54,000. Now let's go into the chart because I'm going to show you some crazy things now. All right, let's start with the Bitcoin weekly chart. This is the bigger picture perspective for Bitcoin because every single candle is 1 week of price action. This line right here is the end of the year. So this here essentially is the deadline, and statistically we are expecting 3 bullish months in a row. At this line right here, we should close higher than where we are right now. Now here's the thing. In between, you can always have dips and corrections, but the statistic is on our side and it's actually very, very strong. Also, liquidity is increasing. China is stimulating the stock market. We have FTX repayments. We have so many fundamental things on our side on why Bitcoin actually will go higher until the end of this year minimum. The crazy thing is, it looks actually quite tight because until the end of this year, we only expect around 13 or 14 more candles, which is not that much. However, if you look back right here, for example, it just took 4 or 5 candles, essentially only 4 or 5 weeks, to really see a big difference up. And this actually could be even bigger this time, potentially. It looks quite tight, but again, it is realistic. The time is ticking and we only have 3 more months, which means again, we should expect to close higher and reach a new all-time high before the end of this year. Me personally, I'm preparing for some big swing positions on Bitcoin, and that's why right now I almost can't keep my eyes off the chart. And again, I will keep you updated. Now this here is the daily chart, which means every single candle is 1 day. Now again, below us, we have this cluster of long liquidations. And I think again, it's quite realistic to come down here again, maybe even a bit lower, because also here we have some long positions. And the beautiful thing is, this would be also, from a Fibonacci perspective, the golden pocket. Now the golden pocket is the most respected area where the price has a retracement to and gets a reaction out of the zone. So either we get a reaction right now on the 200 EMA, we have another higher low and then make a new higher high, for example here, or if we don't hold the support on the 200, again, right next zone is the golden pocket, maybe even a wick down to take out all those longs right here. This, in my opinion, is very realistic. Now on the long side right here, like I said again, we could easily liquidate all those shorts here. They are literally so close here and they are so easy prey. Now those shorts here are a bit more work, and the problem also is we have here a big trend line where statistically we always get rejected. Now once Bitcoin comes into this area right here, I will make an update video here, maybe even open a new trade, either short or long. Like I said, I will update you and inform you, although from a market maker perspective, it would be more efficient to actually stop out all those shorts first. However, if we actually have another escalation on the Middle East conflict and the stock market gets pulled, aka dragged down, and Bitcoin also together with the stock market down, this would actually be quite nice. Why? This would increase our risk reward for Bitcoin even more, and more short positions would get trapped, and in the next up move, it would be even more explosive. So actually, I'm actually hoping that we will go lower and that we will not find support right here. Next, I want to cover something that most people are not aware of with Solana. Now, as you know, we have multiple US Bitcoin spot ETFs and also very recently, multiple Ethereum US spot ETFs. The next coin to potentially have an ETF would be actually Solana. And especially if Donald Trump gets elected next month, which is literally around the corner, the chances of this happening next year in Q1 or Q2, maybe Q3, are very, very high. That's why I think this would be an amazing arbitrage trade. And right now, as you might know, my biggest holding is Ethereum, because in my opinion, Ethereum is way undervalued compared to Bitcoin. My second biggest holding is Bitcoin, and my third biggest holding is Solana. However, if Trump were to be elected, I most likely will rotate out of some Bitcoin and Ethereum, and I will put it in Solana. Because in this case, I think Solana should outperform Ethereum, because of course also the market cap of Solana is even smaller than Ethereum, which means the upside is potentially higher. On the other hand, in addition, as you know, Solana is the competitor to Ethereum, and the network actually is way faster, way more efficient, and the transaction fees are actually also lower. The only thing is, Solana is very centralized, and sometimes the network has an outage, which has been happening a few times, but overall, it is the more usable network from a user perspective. And that's also another benefit for Solana. Now, if we look at right now, for example, if we reach the range high, this would give us a around 50% actually performance. On Ethereum, however, this would give us even more. It would give us a range high of 72%. That's why right now, actually still, I think Ethereum would be the even better risk-reward play. Again, only once Trump wins, then again, I'm shifting more to Solana. Now, on Bitcoin again, it would be only a small performance of actually just 22%. There's also one more chart which I want to make you aware of, and this is the Bitcoin Ethereum chart. This chart is measuring the performance of Bitcoin against Ethereum. So for example, right now, one Bitcoin is worth 25.59 Ethereums. And essentially, the higher the chart is going right here, it means that Bitcoin is more valuable compared to Ethereum. In other words, the higher the chart goes, the more undervalued Ethereum becomes to Bitcoin. And especially also, if this goes up a lot, then again, the risk reward for Ethereum becomes even better. And also, like I said, one big problem with Ethereum is that the ETFs are still super, super weak, and we have all those outflows from Grayscale, which essentially is also dragging down the price a bit, and especially the sentiment for the institutional side. And sooner or later, all the investors from Grayscale will have sold their Ethereum, and from then on, it's only up. From a safety and trend perspective, of course, Bitcoin is still gaining in value against all other coins. However, I am a high-risk investor, and that's why, again, I'm bigger invested in Ethereum compared to Bitcoin, but Bitcoin, of course, will perform very, very well. However, once actually the Bitcoin dominance chart breaks down, aka the trend is changing, or we get a retest, this is the time to circle in from Bitcoin into Ethereum and Solana, and if you are higher risk also, the smaller altcoins. If you want to make the most money possible in the next 3 months, I suggest watch this video right here and this video right here. Get prepared, practice every single day, because the statistics are only so clear and strong in the next 3 months. Leave your questions and feedback in the comments. I will read all comments, reply to all comments, and help you out with all my heart. Thank you once again for your insane support. I really appreciate it. Much love and peace. I will see you in the next video very, very soon. Also, by the way, I will do a live stream on Discord actually this Sunday. So stay tuned if you're on Discord. I will see you soon. Much love and peace, and ciao.